My interview was with Teo Crawford, a photographer and video creator on YouTube. I got in contact with Teo over Instagram, and on the same day I texted him, I got a message back saying we could interview. The reason why I reached out to him is because of 3 reasons. First, his videos are of incredible quality. Every single video I watch from Teo just makes me feel inspired, and they make me aspire to be better. The second reason is because he's like the only guy that responded for me. For context, the other 2 on my list were Jackie Chan and PewDiePie, so I had some pretty high hopes. But the third and most important reason, I believe, is because I wanted to know what a person at Teo's age would be like. It's hard to imagine a world where I'm an adult working at a job that I enjoy, so getting insight from an adult like Teo proved to be incredible for me. With that being said, I would like to introduce Teo Crawford to you.
こんにちは。
こんにちは。
聞こえますか？こんにちは。
はい、ちゃんと聞こえます。
My first question I asked Teo was, what would you describe your personal photography style as? And he replied with this.
Maybe unique's not even the right word. Maybe the right word is personal, because I just shoot what I personally find interesting. I think that's what it's based on. Just when I see something that personally strikes me for some reason, either it be aesthetics or it be some sort of scene because people are doing something interesting in that situation, or I have some personal connection. I do a lot of work that is in some way or another has some personal connection to me. In Japan, for example, I photographed so many shops because you can see the effort the shop owners put into the outside of their shop and trying to show, hey, we are a shop that does this and that, and I just love the personality behind all of that. And so I think it's those kind of things that I feel drawn to when doing photography.
However skilled you are at photography, finding a subject you find personal to photograph is a challenge. You can't walk out into the street and simply find a personal connection to whatever's out there. It takes observation skill and interest to find something personal you want to photograph, and that's what Teo touches on in his work. If you watch his videos, you can tell that he cares about his work and his creativity. For me, taking pictures has always just been fun. I don't hold much emotion to the subjects I photograph, and I also don't make any money off of what I photograph. To achieve true success in a taxing job career like a photographer, you gotta care about your subjects, and that personal connection to what you're capturing that Teo describes is something that you have to keep in mind whenever you photograph. I was curious, how did a man like Teo, with a Japanese mom and an English dad, come to be a photographer? Who were his guides? He gave me the whole story. First of all, he went into videography and editing before becoming a YouTuber. He told me that his teachers were never really permanent, but he did have a lot of technical knowledge over how to shoot with a camera. By the time he was in college, he said that he knew a lot more about cameras and editing than a majority of his peers. While his teachers did help him tremendously, Teo said that the experience that he gained was the biggest asset into becoming a photographer. To Teo, YouTube had been a dream job. He's always felt that at his job, working pointlessly on commercial ads was not as fulfilling as he thought it would be. And so he branched off after a year and made a leap of faith, as he described it. He is now working on YouTube full-time as an independent adult. Interestingly enough, his journey started from 2012 as a small prank channel with his friends. And from then on, he worked on videos part-time while steadily getting better at editing. By 2019, he said that his videos were on the level that it, quote, wouldn't be embarrassing to show, which I thought was funny. When I look at his videos now, I see years of experience and expertise in both photography and video editing. I mean, his videos are beautiful from the eye to the ear, and it shows that he loves doing what he does. As to the stability aspect of his job, it could be better. He certainly does overwork and believe that he needs to improve on that point, but he also describes it as incredibly fulfilling compared to his last job. Even when I asked if he was discouraged by giant creators such as Mr. Beast, he replied to me saying he's glad that Mr. Beast exists, because his subscriber count means that YouTube is only continuing to thrive. His mindset is unbeatable, I would say. As a final thought, I asked Teo what his advice for our generation was, and he's a sweet guy because he gave me 2 pieces of advice to share with us.
Advice, oh god, that's such an open question. One thing that I learned in uni that I found so helpful, and it's just always good to remind oneself, is to stay humble and always remember that you probably know nothing. It was something that was really, really important that the professors told me when I came into university, because I came to university after a year of work in that company that I told you about. And I felt like I was ahead of a lot of people, and there was a danger to become arrogant, you know, because you're just a bit overly confident because you feel like you know more than the others. But one of the professors on the very first day that we got to uni, one thing that he said, which I to this day just remember because I thought it was so great, is he said, please everyone put one thing into your mind, and that is that you know nothing, and probably more or less, and that you can learn from literally everyone in this room. You can learn something because everybody knows their own unique set of things. And do not have the arrogance to discard somebody's knowledge just because they might be younger or less experienced or whatever. You can learn something from everyone. It is really, really helpful to always keep in mind that whoever you're talking to, you can always learn things from anyone because everyone is so unique. I think that's like one advice that I could give, because like just copying that professor, because it was something that really inspired me back then. So it's advice that I never needed because it's so obvious to me, but maybe for some people they do need it, is to just do and not think. Because I feel like I often see people who think, oh, this would be cool, or that would be cool, and this would be nice, but they never actually do something. They just talk about it and think about it, but then they never just start working on something and do something. And that's the thing that it kind of makes me a bit angry. It's like, yeah, just do it then. Like, you don't need to think through every little bit of it. Just start and see where it goes, and you'll figure your way out.
As a closing thought, I'd just like to wrap up a few of the key points that Teo gave me. 1. Be personal with your work. Having something to connect to within your photos is what can make them so special, and you should strive to find that connection. 2. Value your experiences. Oftentimes, experience is the best teacher, whether that experience is for getting better at photography, learning video editing, or pretty much anything in your life. Experience is always the best teacher. 3. Free yourself. If you don't like it, don't do it. Just like Teo found the way to pursue his dreams, you should be able to pursue your own. Life is meant to be lived, and doing what you want is a good way to live it. Thank you for watching, and a big thanks to Teo Crawford for letting me interview him.